Good morning. Welcome to Authentically Lovable You, a podcast on authenticity. So, today we're going to be discussing breaking cycles for good. Again, breaking cycles for good. For example, we all have habits, behaviors, or patterns in our lives that seem to repeat, no matter how hard we try to change them. Maybe it's a relationship pattern, a work-related cycle, or even the way we handle stress. But what if we could break those cycles for good? So let me describe cycles. What do I mean? By cycles, I mean reoccurring behaviors, thoughts, or situations that keep popping up in your life. These can be negative or self-limiting patterns like procrastination, unhealthy relationships, or repeating mistakes at work or in personal life. So we're going to take some time to understand the cycles. What is a cycle? Again, cycles can be habits, routines, or emotional patterns that repeat over time. They can come from past experiences, learned behaviors, or even things we've inherited, like family patterns, society expectations, etc. So think of someone who always picks the same kind of partner, even though it doesn't end well. It's like they're stuck in a loop, even though they want out. So let's ask ourselves, why do cycles keep happening? Cycles can feel automatic because they're ingrained in our brains. Our brain's way of conserving energy by sticking to what's familiar. It's comfortable, even when it's unhealthy or unhelpful. The second step, recognize the cycle. Identify the pattern. To break a cycle, we first need to see it. So think about one area of your life where you feel stuck or repeatedly face the same challenges. Maybe money problems, repeating arguments in relationships, or putting off important tasks at work. So we want to practice mindfulness and self-awareness. I want to encourage you to get curious about why the pattern keeps repeating. A lot of times we can figure this out in journaling or creating diagrams. Maybe let's say it's past workplaces, and maybe you're not getting promoted. Maybe you're second in line. So identify maybe what are the things that might be holding you back, and create a new habit, which becomes a pattern, and watch yourself get promoted. This might mean pushing what you feel triggered or when you find yourself making the same decision again. So you want to ask yourself, is this my choice or is the cycle playing out? So like I said, I would try journaling or simply taking a few minutes of each day to reflect on the emotions or triggers that tend to cause you to repeat the behaviors, repetitive behaviors. So a lot of times you may have anxiety in a certain situation, right? So identify, what is that situation? Is it loud noise? Is it time management? Is it the environment or the people that you're around? So, and what could you do to break out of that? Maybe come and work earlier, maybe stay later, maybe get better organized, maybe some meditation or mindfulness, or perhaps prayer before going into that situation. And thinking positively, right? And singing your favorite song. So the next, so number 3, let's break this cycle. And we want to break it for good, right? So the first step in doing that is you want to change your environment. So think of surroundings that influence our behavior. Maybe you're stuck in traffic. That might cause you to be anxious. Or you could be in an environment that's very calm. Maybe being in a nice park, seeing the foliage, the trees, calm water, which would help to keep you calm, right? So to break a cycle, we need to change our environment or get rid of old cues. So a cue is kind of like I mentioned, for me, like sitting in traffic. I don't really like that, so maybe take an alternate route, or maybe leaving at a different time. So another example would be if you're trying to quit smoking. It's hard if you're hanging out with friends who smoke, but if you choose new places or new activities, you're setting yourself up for success. The next step, make small incremental changes. Breaking a cycle doesn't mean transforming everything overnight. Start with small, manageable changes. If you're always overwhelmed with work, start by tackling one task at a time instead of trying to do everything all at once. The key is to start small and build up. Number 3, get support. Encourage seeking support, whether through therapy, a support group, or even a friend. Sometimes having an outside perspective can help break the pattern. For example, a lot of people find that talking to someone else helps them see things they couldn't on their own, whether that's a friend or a professional. Getting support is crucial. And step 4, practice self-compassion. Stress that it's normal to slip up. Breaking cycles takes time, and being kind to ourselves during this process is essential. Remember, progress doesn't look like perfection. It's okay to have setbacks. What matters is to get back up and continue the journey. Remember, our authenticity is important in every step of the process. You want to be honest with yourself. For years I was on that habitual hamster wheel, right? Constantly going, doing things, being busy, raising children, working a full-time job, training for marathons, dating, and I never took time for myself. And it wasn't until I got much older that I began to realize how burnt out I became. And I wasn't being authentic with self-care and mindfulness and putting myself first. And so when I began to do that, not only was I breaking cycles, generational curses, bondage, within myself, and it spanned out to my family, I began to see relationships for what they were. I awakened to what was really going on. But when I'm so busy just doing life, it's hard to take time to reflect and correct those cycles. But breaking out of it is possible. But again, the first step is to be authentic and to love yourself where you're at and for who you are. And allow that person to come to full completion, because that's the person you always were meant to be. Now, maybe some people may not embrace that, but this is your journey. Again, I say this all the time. At the end of the day, this is about you. This is about you loving yourself authentically for who you are. Nobody is perfect in this world, and if they tell you that they are, they're lying to themselves. So surround yourself with people that can be authentic, So for years I wasn't maybe a patient person, but now I slow down and I take time with things, and I'm amazed. I've learned to hone in on that skill, and so that's the reality. That's your authenticity, saying, this may be an area that I need to work on, and in order to do that, what is one thing that I could do today? And so it doesn't need to be overwhelming, okay? Don't make it complicated, right? Keep it simple. So in conclusion, let's review. Reaffirm the power of change. Breaking cycles isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about taking that first step, and then another, and gradually creating a new path. It's about being aware and awakened and making conscious decisions to move forward. So, final thought. So the next time you find yourself in a cycle, remember, you have the power to choose differently. So take a moment to reflect, make a small change, and you'll be on your way to breaking that cycle for good. Thank you for listening, and I encourage you to share your thoughts on social media or leave me a comment. Make sure you share, and subscribe this message. And if you would like to donate to the channel, there is a link in the description. So I thank you so much. Continue to be authentically lovable you. Set the example, right? And you are changing people, whether you know it or not. I'm really proud of you. Continue in your walk. And until next time, be authentically lovable you.